How is it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumity here, and today we are going to be talking about the newest Marvel movie. We are going to be talking about Marvel's Thunderbolts with an asterisk beside it. Now, this movie is actually really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I was pretty excited to see it once I realized it was a thing. I'll be honest, I didn't see much marketing for this movie. I didn't see any commercials for it at all. I only saw one commercial for it when I went to see Revenge of the Sith again in theaters, and that was the only time I saw a commercial for it the entire time. So marketing for this movie has been really, really strange. But I will say, after watching this movie, I'm very happy with it, and I think they really should have stepped up the marketing for it. This movie was a lot of fun, had a great cast of characters, and honestly, I think that this is a great return for Marvel. I think that this is the right track. I think this is the right direction, and I'm excited for more, actually. It's been a while since I've been excited to see more Marvel movies, but I'm actually really excited to see more now. You have a wonderful cast of characters in this. You have Yelena, who is Black Widow's sister and is now the new Black Widow. You have her father in this, Red Guardian, and he's hilarious. I absolutely love Red Guardian. You have Bucky, obviously, from the other Marvel movies. He's been in a ton at this point, and he's basically the leader of the Thunderbolts in kind of a weird way. You have U.S. Agent. I absolutely love U.S. Agent. That is definitely my favorite character in this. I like that he's like Captain America, but he's cooler because he's not like scared to use a gun. Like he'll use his gun and everything, and he's just a really cool character. He has like military experience. He's just walking around with the this Captain America style shield, but he still has like a gun constantly on him always too. So I just really like him. He seemed like a really cool character, and he has his own like idea of justice too, and I definitely like that. They said that he was only Captain America for a little bit of time because he killed an innocent person, and then he's just like, well, it kind of depends what you mean by innocent. So I definitely like this character. I think he's actually really cool. You have another character named Ghost, and Ghost was actually pretty cool. I liked Ghost. Didn't think that she got really a whole lot of time to shine in this movie compared to the other characters, but still, she's part of the team, and you'll probably see more of her in the future. At least I would hope so. And you also have a character named Bob. Bob pops up a lot in this movie. And he actually, and we're going to get into spoilers, by the way. So, right off the bat, let me just go ahead and say we're going to get into spoilers. So, you've been warned. Bob in this movie ends up being Sentry, who is kind of the main villain, but also not. I wouldn't say Sentry's the main villain. I would say that this other personality within Sentry is the main villain. The other personality being a character named Void, who is literally like the personification of depression, which is actually a really interesting concept and ends up being a really cool point in the movie. And I really, really think they did a great job with that. So kudos to them on doing that. They did a fantastic job with that. I didn't think that that's the direction this movie was going to take, but they did, and they did a really good job with it. At least I thought so. There's also Taskmaster in this, and they kind of made. I feel like you see Taskmaster on a lot of like the posters and stuff for this, but the character's like in one scene and gets killed. So not really many important things coming from Taskmaster, if I'm being honest. But every other character I really liked. The other main villain in this, who's kind of basically corrupts Sentry, is Valentina. She is like a congresswoman. She's like I think she's the head of the CIA or something like that, and she's very corrupt. She basically is the reason why all of these characters get put together. She did it by accident. She actually was trying to get rid of all evidence that she was ever like working on secret projects, and these superheroes counted as part of her secret project. So she hired them all to kill each other. She didn't expect them all to get together and actually form a team like they did and go after her, but that's what ended up happening. And you get some just really cool fight scenes, fantastic fight scenes in this, by the way. Love the choreography that they did for that. All that stuff was great. The sound design and the CGI was also all really well done. Thought they did a great job with that. And I think part of that is thanks to Lucasfilm. It said that Lucasfilm actually helped with the CGI in this, so that makes a lot of sense because they do a fantastic job with it. And Skywalker Sound also helped with the sound design, and the sound design in this is really, really good. Also, music is really good in this too. So all of that stuff I absolutely loved. Now, the whole story of this is basically Valentina's little experiments going awry and her still trying to kind of like basically hide what she's doing and try to act like she's doing everything she has done for the betterment of humankind. But obviously she doesn't really care about that. She just really cares about making a name for herself and making herself look good in the public light. And her idea basically is taking this character named Bob and doing tests on him to try to make him into a superhero. He gets turned into Sentry. However, Bob is he struggles with a lot of different types of mental illness. Like, he doesn't have just depression, he also has, it seems like he has split personality as well, because he, whenever his one of the other personalities does something, he can't remember it. So that's kind of like a sign of the split personality thing, where like if one personality does something, he has no idea what that personality did, and he does that a lot in this movie. So I feel like he also has that going on as well. But it's really cool when you see this character though, because he, when he does turn into Sentry, he starts getting this like god complex. He starts thinking of himself like a god and that he's untouchable. But then you have regular Bob, who's like afraid and feels alone about everything. Then you have this evil version of him called Void that's in his head, and it's like an actual manifestation of him. And at one point escapes, and actually you can see the manifestation actually start to destroy things in New York City. He starts basically sucking people into what's called the Void, and the Void is basically this like shadow realm that's just all people's just most depressing memories, and they're just stuck reliving the worst moments of their life over and over and over again. And he puts them in this realm where they are stuck doing that, and the Thunderbolts have to rescue him at one point, and they do there's so much cool stuff that happens within this kind of like creepy world. First of all, very dark. There's a lot of dark scenes in this movie. It goes into, abuse and everything else, so it's very dark, and they actually handle those subjects. I think they did a really good job handling those subjects. But when they actually get to Bob, because Bob's stuck in this, void as well, because he's obviously dealing with this own villain that's personified in his head. So when they get to Bob, there's so many creepy things that start happening, because Bob has to go and take on this embodiment of depression that has sucked everyone into this void. And when you see him, it's so creepy, because they go up to the void and Bob's just like, "Oh, I've been here before." And they're standing in the lab where basically these experiments happened on him and where Sentry and Void were created. And when he says, "I've been here before," like the character Void stands up, turns around, and it's just like this all black shadow figure. His eyes are all black, everything about it. He's just like a shadow character. And the only way you can see his eyes is because of a little glint in his eyes, and he's so creepy looking. And there's all sorts of weird supernatural stuff that starts happening. At one point, when they're like, Yelena, she's trying to comfort Bob, and the stuff just starts flying across the room and everything, and like the wall literally reaches out and grabs Yelena and like holds her and everything like that. It's so creepy. They did such a great job mixing in these little like horror elements into this movie. I love that. I love that because obviously I like horror movies. I'm a horror fan, so seeing that mixed into this action movie was actually really cool. So great job with that. Absolutely loved the mix of those elements, and just one of the creepiest villains I've ever seen. Void is terrifying. Not only is Void terrifying just because of his design and the fact that he can like basically turn people into shadows. Where they were standing, you just see a shadow laying there, and he sucks them into this void. Not only is he creepy for that, but just the idea of the embodiment of depression coming alive and being able to just bring everyone to their worst memories possible. That's pretty terrifying. That's like something that everyone can really relate to, is having some low point in their life, and seeing this embodiment of it is just pretty terrifying. So they did a great job with that. I really really enjoyed that. I think that this movie is actually fantastic. Overall, I really, really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was happy to see this new group come together. Yelena is great. Absolutely love that character. A lot of humor in this to balance the dark topics. While it does cover dark things and does cover tough subjects like depression, they did a good job balancing it with humor. So it came across very, I think they just handled everything very well. So it was just, I couldn't be happier with the way that this movie turned out. I think they did a great job with that. I love Yelena though. That character is hilarious. I love at the beginning when she's like telling someone that she has like taped up about her whole life story and like every rough part of her life she's ever had. And this guy doesn't really want to listen. And then they get interrupted by like a guy who has a gun at her, and it actually ends up being the person that she needs to open up a locked door. There's like a facial recognition lock that she needs to get past, and she accidentally causes the guy to shoot himself in the face and then fight. And then she's just like, I needed that face. And it's just a lot of dark humor like that I really enjoyed. I'm a fan of dark humor in general, so seeing that in the movie was pretty fun. And I like that she saved the guinea pig before blowing up that place too, so that was nice too. But yeah, I just love these misfit characters. It's kind of cool too because it's imperfect heroes. They're basically anti-heroes, yes, but they're also just, they're imperfect. They're not perfect people. They have things that they struggle with, and it's kind of nice to see that kind of like weakness from these people who are supposed to be super powered humans. So I really like that as well. I think they did a great job showing that. and I was just a big fan of that. I think they did a great job showing kind of like all these characters' weakness. Even though they're these super strong characters, they all have something that bothers them deep down, and they all come together and they realize, like, it's hard to deal with these things alone, but it's good to rely on others and to be able to rely on others to get through those times. So they did a good job of just having that message of, don't hold all this in. It's wrong to hold it all in. Just rely on others. Don't be afraid to rely on others. It's important to, and there's strength in numbers. And I definitely like that. I thought that was a really great message. So overall, I like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think that if you have not seen this yet, you definitely should. If you're thinking about seeing it, definitely go watch it. It's worth the time to go watch this movie. It's a lot of fun. And in my opinion, this is the best Marvel movie to come out in many years. So I'm looking forward to the future. We're hopefully going to see more in the future because it said the Thunderbolts will return at the end, and they did crown them the new Avengers as well. But we'll see if that sticks or if they'll go back to being Thunderbolts. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that one yet. But still, I really enjoyed the way that this movie ended, and they did hint that the Thunderbolts will be teaming up with the Fantastic Four in the future also. So that's pretty cool. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next one. Go check out the Thunderbolts. Bye bye.